Hello and welcome to S24 Rundown, where we bring you the latest updates, key developments and major headlines from across the country and beyond. I am Khadija Mohammed and here's our news in brief headlines. South African investments in Nigeria face retaliation threats over xenophobic attack. NEU Gombe announced 50% scholarship for 6 science courses. Kidnapper abducts journalist's son-in-law, demand 500 million. And here's our news in brief after the break. First up, South African businesses with investment worth about 20.43 trillion naira in Nigeria are facing possible retaliation as pressure mounts on the federal government over renewed xenophobic attacks against Nigerians in South Africa. The attacks, reported in cities including Johannesburg, Pretoria and Durban, have reportedly killed at least 5 Nigerians this year, with others displaced and businesses looted. The Nigerian government has responded through diplomatic channels and evacuated 1,490 Nigerians from South Africa, but calls for stronger actions are growing. Senator Adams Oshomole has proposed using profit from South African companies operating in Nigeria to compensate Nigerians victims, while the National Association of Nigerian Students has threatened protests against companies including MTN and MultiChoice. And moving on, Northeastern University Gombe has introduced a 50% founder scholarship for students enrolling in 6 science-based degree programs to prepare young Nigerians for emerging opportunities in the oil and gas sector. It was announced by the University Pro-Chancellor and founder Dr. Sani Jauro Enlawal of Gombe during the 2026 graduation ceremony of Penn Resource Academy. The scholarship covers petroleum chemistry, environmental management and toxicology, industrial chemistry, microbiology, biotechnology, and urban and regional planning. Jauro said the initiative was prompted by emerging oil exploration activities in the Kolmani area of Gombe and Bauchi State and the expected demand for skilled professionals, adding that the university is also working to establish an oil and gas competency development center to provide specialized training for students and professionals. And moving on, the son-in-law of veteran journalist and former managing director of the Dickford Monitor newspaper, Ayo Akinyemi, has been abducted by armed men in Ikene local government area of Ogun State, with his abductors reportedly demanded 500 million ransom for his release. The victim, Ore Oluwa Oshunuga, a businessman who operates a poultry farm, was kidnapped on Sunday afternoon while leaving his farm settlement for routine business activities. He was reportedly on his way to buy fuel and deliver poultry products when the gunmen intercepted his vehicle and took him away. The incident was reported to the police, after which officers from the Ikene Divisional Police Headquarters visited the scene and recovered his 2017 Toyota Highlander. The abductors later reportedly contacted Oshunuga's family using his mobile phone and demanded 500 million naira, while his whereabouts remain unknown as of Monday. And turning into the international scene, a Ukrainian drone strike has killed at least 12 people and injured 39 others in one of the deadliest single attacks in Ukraine's more than 4-year war. The regional press service said the casualties were recorded after a massive drone attack on Monday in the energy-rich region located more than 1,000 kilometers from Ukraine and home to major oil refineries that Kyiv has targeted a retaliatory strikes. Unverified footage shared on social media showed a large plume of black smoke rising near an oil facility in Zhiknomskaz. Russia's defense minister said its forces shot down 456 Ukrainian drones overnight. Although it did not disclose how many reached their target, Ukraine's Air Force, meanwhile, said Russians launched 126 drones in an overnight attack on Ukraine, highlighting the sharp escalation in long-range strike by both sides this year. An Air Indian captain whose flight suddenly lost about 300 feet in altitude during a Phuket to New Delhi journey is facing further drug testing after an initial screening for psychoactive substance returned a not negative result. Indian aviation authorities said the incident occurred on 4th August when the Air India flight encountered a sudden altitude drop that prompted authorities to subject both pilots to post-flight screening after they landed in Delhi. The captain's samples has now been sent for confirmatory laboratory testing, meaning the initial result does not yet establish that the pilot used a prohibited substance. India's Civil Aviation Ministry said further action will depend on the outcome of the confirmatory test and the wider investigation. And finally, more than 1 million people have been evacuated across eastern China as powerful Typhoon Dolphin made landfall, bringing torrential rain, strong winds and fears of flooding and landslide. The typhoon struck Zhejiang province on Sunday with winds of about 151 kilometers per hour, making it one of the strongest storms to hit China this year. More than 900,000 people were evacuated in Wenzhou, while emergency shelters were opened across affected areas. Shanghai recorded up to 400 millimeters of rain in 24 hours, while more than 1,300 flights were cancelled and public transport disrupted. Although Dolphin weakened after making landfall, authorities continue to warn of heavy rainfall and flooding as the storm moves inland. And now moving on to business news with Shukra Oniye. Hello Shukra, what's the latest in the world of business today?
We have nothing short of latest as the federal government are reviving a decade-old plan to list NNPC on the stock exchange market. Hello and welcome to your business update. Nigeria's foreign exchange inflows rise 59% to $4.4 billion in July, and oil prices are rising again as traders assess global supply risk. And finally, Dangote Group Tanzania explore multi-billion-dollar investments. Let's get into the details. And starting off, the federal government is reviving its decade-old plan to list the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, the NNPC, on the Nigerian exchange. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed that the state-owned oil company will be eventually listed. NNPC is estimated to control assets worth over $150 billion and $153 billion, meaning a successful listing could significantly boost Nigeria's crypto market while giving investors an opportunity to own shares in the company. And now let's move on to the foreign exchange market, where Nigeria has recorded a rise in foreign inflows last July. The country's inflows increased 59% to $4.4 billion, providing more dollar liquidity to the economy. That could offer some relief to businesses that depend on foreign currency for imports. Although the key question remains, can the stronger inflows be sustained? Meanwhile, oil prices are also moving higher on the international market again. Traders are assessing developments that could affect global crude supply, including geopolitical tension and possible disruptions around the key oil supplying routes. And for Nigeria, movement in the crude prices remain important because oil is a major source of government revenue and foreign exchange. And finally, the Dangote Group in Tanzania exploring multi-billion-dollar investment opportunities. The discussions cover infrastructure, energy, and fertilizers as Tanzania seeks more private investment to support its industrial development. For Dangote, this move could further expand its presence across Africa, while Tanzania stands to gain from increased investment and economic activity. Khadija Muhammad and Sarah Abel are on standby to join you on newspaper review. Stay with us.
Thank you, Shukra, and welcome back from that break. And now to our new segment, the newspaper review with Sarah Abel. Good afternoon, Sarah.
Hi, Khadija.
Hi, hope you're good today.
Yeah.
Okay, so we begin with our first newspaper, The Hope, page 10, and the front page says, INEC extend upload deadline for governorship House of Assembly candidates.
Yeah.
So the Independent National Electoral Commission has extended the deadline for political parties to upload the details of their governorship and House of Assembly candidates. The move is expected to give parties more time to complete their nomination process ahead of the election. So Sarah, but what does this extension mean for the electoral calendar? And does it strengthen the process or create room for further delay and uncertainty? Let's hear from you.
2027 is coming and so many things, matters are rising. I think it's a cause for concern with the calendar for INEC. But since they were able to move it out, I guess that is something that they can work around. But we should not encourage further delay and extensions for 2027, because I'm very sure they are working on a very tight window and everything have to be made available. And also this is a concern for a lot of the opposition party. You know, I keep saying it that I've not really seen that level of seriousness and zeal for the opposition parties. I think APC is one of the parties that were able to submit their candidates before deadline. And that is the ruling party. And the other people who are coming to, you know, oppose are not even ready. We've seen many cases with opposition parties, court cases, internal tumults, up and down, so many things going on. So it's a cause for concern for the opposition, actually, this period, them being not ready, needing extension time. I guess it's still part of the reasons for internal scuffles that have been going on. It's still maybe one of the reasons why they are not ready to submit their candidates.
So what are the possible consequences for parties or candidates who still fail to meet this deadline? Because I think they've been postponing
it was from 8 and then it was moved to 11th of August.
Wow.
So that's tomorrow, I guess. I mean, right now, if you don't have your candidate ready, how serious are you about the election?
That's true.
I'm very sure before you came up to be an opposition, you should have made your house, put your house in order. I keep retreating this thing with all the issues that have been arising with different opposition parties. I keep saying that they need to put their house in order. You know, everybody wants to be the leader. Everybody, so much ego and so much clashing is what is causing this. And I keep using APC as an example in the last elections when PDP was the ruling party. You could see the way they all came together and were able to beat the ruling party. I don't see that zeal in this coming election. I don't see that zeal for the opposition party. You know, because winning an election is not just by having a candidate that is popular. You need structure. You need cohesion, internal cohesion. And a lot of these parties do not have internal cohesion. You could see the power struggle with their structure, you know, the executive and all the rest in the party having a scuffle. So it's a cause for concern, you know, because we need a strong opposition. That helps democracy in itself.
Yeah. You know, you mentioned something about the ruling party currently now having their candidates already.
They submitted before the
Yes,
deadline.
they did. So don't you think, should I use the word scared, that the other parties are actually scared of the ruling party, or it's more or less like they are feeling like the ruling party are here to stay?
No, I think everybody internally is just doing what they are meant to do.
Okay.
APC have done what they are meant to do. They have come together. They have arranged all their governors and National Assembly. They know who the candidates are. There's no issue within that. And then they were able to submit. The reason why the other parties have not been able to submit is because there's no cohesion.
Okay.
You know, they are having internal tumors and a little bit of disagreement.
Yes.
That's
so, what should INEC be doing to ensure that such extension do not become, recurring feature of the electoral process? Because this is not the first time.
Yeah, it's always happened.
Yes.
It's bound to happen. I'm very sure even in their timetable, they tend to give a little bit of leeway. You know, when you are planning, you plan A, B, and C.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, so maybe if you give this time and you know that this time might not work, so you go to plan B. I'm very sure this might be their plan B or plan C. So, you know, you have to put that into, you're working with humans.
Yeah.
Humans are one of the most difficult beings to work with. So if you put it strictly like that, it might not come into fruition. So I think they're in the right path, but not too much on giving extension time lapse. Too much flexibility will not be good for the calendar of 2027 election.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Sarah.
Yes.
So moving on to our second paper, First Daily. The front page says NDLEA wants drug lace cookies, gummies targeting youths. These are the topics for today's paper review. So let's talk about the drug NDLEA thing, right?
Yes.
And if you ask me, I think why might criminals choose products such as cookies and gummies to distribute illicit drugs?
Because these criminal syndicates are becoming more sophisticated. They are evolving, you know, so they are bringing new things and it's a cause for concern.
Exactly.
Khadija, we cannot afford to have drug issues in this country. We have so many things going on. We have insecurity going on, you know. So having drug issue, I think Nigerian government should sit down. This is a very, very serious thing. We shouldn't just take it as, oh, this syndicate was caught and all. You could remember as of last month in Ogun State, that meth lab that was captured by NDLEA, right? It's a cause for concern because we're not even moving from just, oh, there's a hub for transporting these illicit drugs anymore. We are now going into producing this. It's a huge problem.
And the fact that they're using it in form of cookies, in form of all these like something, so you can imagine how.
So now we have to be very much concerned what you're buying. If you see the packaging of what they did with these illicit drugs, they are so beautiful. Someone like me might not even know that this is what I'm buying. You know, you see, is it mango, Thailand mango, and all of that, and you see it, and a lot of people don't even read the ingredients. You know, you just see something called, because it's cookies, for goodness sake. You know, so this is a very serious issue.
Yes, it is
a very, very serious issue. The latest consignment that was captured was what the street value is about 373 million for these cookies and all that were laced. It's a serious issue. And we have a drug issue with our youth this period. If you go to the hospitals, we don't even have good facilities. We're in big trouble in this country if government don't sit up, all agencies should sit up, work together. This is not even an issue for just NDLEA. I think even NAFDAC have to be involved with this because now they are using food as, they are packaging it as food. So NAFDAC needs to sit up and, you know, go into all these things to look at the ingredients and capture these people, because it's becoming serious. It's not just even about the distribution anymore. We're looking at lab, we're looking at, we can't afford to have cartels. In this period of insecurity, we can't afford it. We're even talking about the low turnout for army, and then this our youth that we're hoping, you know, with the increment, we want to join the army. Then they are not having issues of drugs addiction. It's a serious case, Khadija.
So finally, before we round up, who should bear the greater responsibility here? Is it the NDLEA, the parents, schools, manufacturers, social media platforms?
This is a systematic issue. As I said, everybody needs to sit up. The parents need to be careful with what they are buying. You need to ensure, watch out your youth, your teenagers. And also all agencies from custom to immigration, all agencies need to sit up. That's why I even said even NAFDAC, because typically, you know, you won't call NAFDAC in the issue
Yes.
of importation and all. But because of the kind of method that they are using, we need to bring all agencies together. And we need to ensure that as these criminal syndicates are, you know, evolving, our agencies also need to evolve. We can't use archaic method anymore. We need to ensure that they have the technological know-how, you know, they have the manpower, they have the skills to be able to hunt these people down. As they are becoming more sophisticated, we too also have to be sophisticated in hunting.
Well, the whole point is in this issue, everybody is important. The NDLEA,
it's a very serious
and
issue.
the social media for awareness.
If you go to the street, you see some of them, the way they are high. They are high on drugs.
Yes.
It's not even longer about being drunk with alcohol anymore. Hard drugs. It's a big issue. I'm very, very concerned when I read that news, because I'm like, we are already in a very serious critical condition as a country.
Thank you so much for that, Sarah. It's nice having you once again on Newspaper Review. And that's it on our paper today. So up next is S24 Report, coming to you after the break. Nigeria and China have continued to strengthen their relationship through trade, education, infrastructure, and cultural exchange. Now, both countries are using the power of storytelling to bring their people even closer. At the China-Nigerian Film and Literature Symposium, the Nigerian Television Authority and China Movie Channel signed a cooperation agreement to share and air films on their networks, bringing Chinese films to Nigerian audience and Nollywood productions to millions of viewers across China.
It is a process that has started a long way. Today we've been able to append our signatures to the agreement, and it means that we will be exchanging programs and also have co-production with the CMC and NTA, and of course we'll share our knowledge and of course our heritage to the people of China and, of course, Nigeria.
Speakers at the symposium described film as a powerful way to promote culture. They highlighted Nollywood's role in showcasing Nigerian traditions, languages, fashion, food, and stories to audience around the world.
I think this is a very important milestone to enhance our people-to-people and cultural exchanges. You know, we did this with this agreement, and I think we'll have more cooperation between China and Nigeria in terms of movie sharing and joint production, because both China and Nigeria, we are ancient civilizations, and we also big film players on the globe. So I think with this signing of the agreement, I believe that it will elevate our cooperation to a new chapter.
I've been to China and I was there for 6 years. And what I see there coming to Nigeria is to be a very welcoming developmental part in this country.
Stakeholders also said the partnership will create new opportunities for young filmmakers through international exposure, collaboration, and wider access to global audience.
Having such cultural exchanges and co-productions, it makes us very well aware of certain nuances, certain cultural stories, backgrounds. Like if you take a trip to China, you will find out everywhere you go, they're talking about their cultures. If you go into the hall, you will see a replication of the panda. They're very proud of their culture. And so we doing the same. It brings about awareness. Co-productions like we're seeing with other Nigerian storytellers will open up audiences. It will bring about the production of more films, more documentaries, and all of that. And, it's endless.
Okay, so for me, we welcome this development between Nigeria and China, and with the NTA entering this partnership, for me, is a welcome development and a step in the right direction. It aligns with our mission as media to use our profession to promote national development and cause.
As Nigeria and China continue to strengthen cultural ties, the partnership shows how film can connect people, celebrate culture, and build lasting relationships across borders. Khadija Muhammad, reporting for S24 Television.
Welcome to Political Arena here on S24 Television. Nigeria has one of the youngest population in the world, and young people are becoming active in politics, leadership, and nation building. Many believe that the future of the country depends on how well the citizen and young people prepare themselves and how well they participate in governance. Today on Political Arena, we will discuss the role of young leaders and how can they ensure and shape the Nigerian narrative ahead of 2027, the challenges they face, and what are the possible opportunities for them. Our guest this afternoon is Engineer Idris Bilal Bala, convener of May Youth Hub, who has been working with young people across Nigeria through leadership, government, and empowerment. Engineer Bilal, welcome to Political Arena here on S24 Television.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
And it's a pleasure having you in the studio.
Same here.
So, Engineer, if I may ask, please can you introduce yourself and tell us about May Youth Hub in a nutshell, please?
Okay. My name is Engineer Idris Bilal Bala, and I'm the convener and founder of May Youth Hub. So the grassroots mobilizer for independent youth of Nigeria. I'm a youth development practitioner, also a leadership advocate, working tirelessly on the quest for the birth of our great nation.
Thank you, Bilal. Bilal, if I may ask you, what inspired you to start working with young people, especially in this critical moment?
Okay, so for me personally, working with young people has always been far back since when I was young. So the journey working with young people didn't just start today.
Since time immemorial.
Yes, since when I was young, I've always been that person. Even in my family, I have elder ones. I've always been that person that always wants things to be right. So for me, it has always been when I grew up, and I've always wanted things to go right. So part of what we've been doing over time is that we'll be looking at key issues that youth have been facing, and how can we be of practical solutions to it.
So in your opinion as a Nigerian, what role should young leaders play in Nigeria's political future?
Young leaders have a very vital role to play in our nations today, because I believe a lot of youth today has lost interest when it comes to the political space.
Why do you say that?
Why I say so is because a lot of youth today believe that the political space is just basically for our elder ones.
Or for looting.
Or for basically looting as well.
Yeah.
And most of them think, okay, it's for our elder ones, and even if I participate, there are other ways I could get money where I could participate in maybe the whole content creation and the whole other aspect. So not everybody wants to get invested.
But young people like you are actually breaking the silence. As I can see from your emblem, you graduated from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria.
Sure.
We know how things are, especially with the student union government when it comes to their own election. Can't you see like nowadays people are trying to stand on the mandate, and at least they wanted to participate?
Yeah, I believe I'm with you on that, because a lot of youth believe that a lot of things has gone southways. So and the only way to win is when you are within the system. And for me personally, where you could see, I'm a graduate from Ahmadu Bello University, and this is the home of struggle. So when I mean struggle, is a home where a lot of youths or a lot of students are being molded when it comes to the whole leadership space. And for me, when I got into the university, I was so amazed because I met a lot of like-minded people who are already walking the path.
So right here is a comrade sitting down here with me.
Very much well.
Aluta continue.
Aluta Victoria Center.
What are the biggest challenges preventing young people from participating in politics, apart from the political apathy that you mentioned?
Okay, so a lot of people are not participating in the political will I say political space, because they believe that, like I said earlier on, they believe that a lot of youths need a lot of things to do. So if I could hand on my hands on maybe the entertainment space, a lot of youth want fast money. So they believe that political space are for the older generations. So it's just for people that knows that, okay, there's not just all about the older generation. We believe that, okay, there are a lot of things that could be done. And if we don't come into the space and change that narrative, we can't actually progress.
Okay, so how can young people prepare themselves for leadership instead of just criticizing leaders? You know, with the presence of social media, nowadays young people will just come online, abuse the hell out of leaders.
Yeah, a lot of youth. I think they should get a good mentors when they want to get into this, because what mentors do for you is that they would shape you, mold you into becoming a better person better version of yourself.
And so, what do you think? Like, what skills do young people need to succeed in politics and public service?
Mentorship guide.
It all boils down to
mentorship guide, because if you don't have a good mentorship, you won't actually do well, because a lot of youths, they believe they know it all. And there isn't.
So how can experienced politicians support and mentor young people? You made mention of mentorship. Is it by giving them a chance? Is it by appointing them as just special advisors, personal assistants?
It goes beyond, and that is where we are getting it wrong in Nigeria. They believe it's just all about appointments. It is not just all about appointment. You can appoint somebody and you might not necessarily do the right thing. So what I think they should interfere with, they should have a one-on-one conversation, more like a community-based forum development, where you could interfere with them, interact and relate with them, have a synergy before you could even start talking about appointment and the likes.
So, Bilal, do you think that like social media have helped young people to becoming more politically aware?
Yes, it does. Not just politically alone. I think in every aspect, because the more social media, it has making a lot of people exposed to a lot of things. So let's take, for example, now we are much aware of what just happened, where the whole that was going around about the 210 trillion naira. For the Gen X, if there's no social media, many of us will not even know. So now many youths right now want to go into that because they believe that, okay, if I'm there, there are a lot of money flying on. So I think social media has played a lot of vital roles to political engagement.
So what advice do you have for young Nigerians who want to contest elections?
Be very, very optimistic.
Be very optimistic.
Be faithful.
Be faithful.
And believe in yourself and believe in God.
Well, what is my youth hub doing to develop the next generation set of leaders across Nigeria, not only northern Nigeria?
Thank you very much for asking me this question, because I think this is a very, very important question. My youth hub is not just, from the name, it's not just a Nigerian thing. We are building one of Africa's largest youth development community. And what we're trying to do is, we understood that a lot of youth today, one of our greatest problems is unemployment. And as part of my youth hub, our cardinal principle is to see that we reduce the level of unemployment. And we're not just doing that by mouth verbally. We're looking at all that sustainable plan, of which we have an app which is ongoing, where if the app is fully launched, I believe a lot of youths would have access to employment opportunities.
Well, looking ahead of the future election in Nigeria, what change would you like to see?
The change I would like to see is I want to see a lot of youth participation, because when you take a look at the registered voters according to INEC, you will see just 40% of youths have collected their voters card. We have a population of over 200 million plus, and when you take a look at that population, 70% of it are youth, and just 40% of that population are who have collected their voters card. So I would like to see a lot of youth participation
and engaging
in the whole political
So
atmosphere.
looking at the country now, in the next 6 to 7 months, Nigerians are going back to elect their own leaders. What type of leaders Nigerians should go for? And if miraculously APC continue to rule Nigeria, and what are your calls to the president?
If APC rule Nigeria, maybe they win in our forthcoming election, mine will just be for them to understand that there are a lot of hardship going on in Nigeria. We can't dispute that. And in as much as we know, Nigeria is a country with a lot of tribal and religious belief. So I would like the president to look key into youth development, because a lot of youth today are very, very critical. They are very, very creative when it comes to innovations, a lot of ideas, technology and innovations. Because when you take a look at not just Nigeria alone, anywhere you go around the world, a lot of Nigerian youth, because they have so much to pass on, but because they are not having that platform, they are trying to leave the country.
So Bilal, before we draw the curtain of the show, finally, what message would you like to leave with Nigerians youth who believe they can make a difference?
Okay, first, I want you to believe in yourself, believe in God. There is no limit to what you cannot achieve. The limit you reach is the limit you set for yourself. Be good, be kind, and be generous and also wish good for the country. Our current state in our nation is not our final destination. But I believe if I could do it under Miyutob, I believe each and every one of you with ideas, put up your ideas together, and I believe we could all do it collectively. Thank you.
Bilal, you sound very, very optimistic. And I also pray Nigeria will see the light of the day.
Amen.
And may God continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Amen.
So this is where we will draw the curtain of political arena here on S24 television. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and bye for now.
Thank you.
By Ngano Ndoye is entirely run by women and does more than just produce and market a product. It operates as a vital technical training ground. Members acquire crucial skills in management, standardized food production, and commercialization, effectively bridging the formal training gap. The upskilling guarantees the quality of the final product while fostering sustainable job creation, significantly strengthening the financial independence of the women involved.
Having lived in the extreme poverty myself, I want to stay close to the community. My goal is to support them so that the next generation does not face the same difficulties we did.
The innovative nature of this initiative lies in its Pan-African interregional dimension. The Dahowo Sugnuguk has established a structured partnership with a network of engaged women of Kadogo, also coordinated by Astusako. The alliance has created a mutual aid ecosystem founded on the fair trade of local plants and herbs.
I can see progress. With the transformation work we are doing, we're able to provide for ourselves and our children. Today, we're self-sufficient, we process our products, sell them, and are independent. We don't envy those who work in offices because we manage our own activities, organize our own turn times, and take control of our future. And that's real progress.
The product exchange is pragmatic and strategic. Women from the Kadogo region in the east of the country transport their local products such as palm oil, soap, and bleach to Dakar. In return, the entrepreneurs in Dakar supply the Kadogo counterparts with processed bisap and lemon, a commodity of more accessible near the capital. This modernized batching system allows each network to diversify its commercial offerings without depleting its own regional resources, thereby maximizing margins and supply security for all members.
The machines are not sufficient, and the premises are too small. We want to expand, create a real industry in the future, set up a distribution system to sell in supermarkets, export our products abroad, and recruit more women.
Beyond the purely economic logic, this partnership cements essential social cohesion. It creates a crucial safety net for women from different socio-economic backgrounds, forging bonds of solidarity that are paramount, given that African women are often the first victim of economic shocks. The scale of this initiative testifies to its success. The network of engaged women of Kadogo has structured itself into a national force, currently boasting over 1,800 active members. Its territorial reach is impressive. It operates 26 branches in the rural departments of Kadogo, Saraya, and Selmata, and has established 10 branches in Dakar's urban areas, ensuring coordination that extends across all 14 regions of Senegal.
We can also note that women are becoming increasingly active in economic interest groups such as EIGs. Within these EIGs, they process food and agricultural products that they then sell on the market. This provides them with a small income to meet their family's needs.
According to Senegal's National Agency for Statistics and Demography, although women represent nearly 60% of the non-agricultural informal sector workforce, they only access about 30% of formal bank credit. Solid structures like ASTU-SACCOs are essential for navigating these barriers by providing easy access to resources, technical trainings, and crucially, a reliable distribution network. The network serves as a powerful lever for formalizing economic activity and enhancing the financial inclusion of women. These initiatives are not mere acts of substance. They are models of investment in the future. By transforming local products like bissap, lemon, or palm oil, structured economic opportunities, these women are redefining their central role in the national socio-economic fabric.
Sometimes, some women want to start their own businesses, but it remains difficult with the limited resources they have. I encourage them to persevere. I can provide you with financial support so that you can turn to another activity, such as reality, for example.
The model demonstrated by Tahuwu Sognogog and its inter-regional network provides that inclusive and sustainable development in Senegal inevitably depends on investment in structured female entrepreneurship. These collective efforts inspire other communities to replicate this synergy, paving a path where solidarity and social innovation become the standard for Senegal's new generation of female entrepreneurs.
Security operations continue across Nigeria as security agencies intensify offensives against terrorists, kidnappers, and other criminal elements, recording fresh successes in ongoing operations across the country. Welcome to Security Update on S24 Rundown. I am Gloria Atta, and here are today's top stories. Let's begin. The Nigerian Air Force says an airstrike in the Sambisa forest area of Borno State has killed 9 ISWAP fighters, including a key commander, Abu Khalid al-Mujahir. The operation was conducted on Saturday, August 8, following credible intelligence on the movement of terrorists in the forest. The NAF says a remotely piloted aircraft tracked the fighters to a suspected hideout before carrying out a precision strike. A subsequent assessment confirmed several terrorists were killed while others were wounded. The Air Force says Al-Mujahir was responsible for providing security escorts for senior ISWAP members and was familiar with key routes and terrain within the Sambisa forest. The NAF says the operation is expected to disrupt ISWAP's movement, leadership, protection, and coordination as intelligence-led air operations continue in collaboration with ground forces. And in Plateau State, troops of Operation Enduring Peace have neutralized an armed militia member during a gun battle in Mangu local government area. The incident occurred on Sunday following reports of a militia attack on Rangai community and suspicious movements around Kantoma, Bom, and Jakatai. Troops responding to distress calls came under heavy gunfire from the attackers, who were reportedly armed with locally fabricated AK-47 rifles. The troops returned fire, forcing the assailants to flee. 1 militia member was killed and 2 locally fabricated AK-47 rifles were recovered. In Lagos, the Nigeria Customs Service says it has uncovered 399 fully assembled Georgia firearms at the Tinkan Island port. The discovery followed the examination of a container intercepted on Thursday, August 6, containing concealed crates of what were initially identified as knocked-down rifle components. Customs authorities say the shipment also contained dozens of additional firearm parts, including frames,
trigger groups, charging handles, foregrips, barrels, and other components. The Comptroller General of Customs, Adewale Adeniyi, described the seizure as a major intervention against illegal arms proliferation, adding that it will intensify intelligence-led enforcement, border surveillance, and collaboration with other security agencies to prevent the movement of prohibited weapons into the country. And finally, in Imo State, operatives of the Special Tactical Squad and Force Intelligence Department have neutralized a suspected bandit kingpin identified as Ojiogu Martin, also known as Acid. Police say the suspect was killed during a gun duel at his hideout in Ohaji, Igemba local government area. According to the police, preliminary investigations link Acid to a criminal group allegedly responsible for several killings and violent crimes in Ohaji and Igemba and surrounding communities between 2024 and 2026. The police also alleged that the group was involved in the killing of a traditional ruler, Eze Barrister Paulinus Ekweme, and 5 others in April this year. The force says investigations will continue while efforts are being intensified to apprehend members of the group who escaped. And that's all we can take for today. Thanks for watching, and remember to stay safe. Hello and welcome to Tech World Updates, where we discuss technology, innovation, and digital world. I am Aisha Muhammad. Here's what's shaping ICT from Nigeria to the global stage. Today's ICT headlines focus on Nigeria's ambitious expansion of fiber optic infrastructure, new funding opportunities for artificial intelligence-powered healthcare solutions across Africa, and growing tensions over access to advanced AI chips between the United States and China. We begin in Nigeria. The federal government has officially moved Project Bridge into its execution phase with the incorporation of Bridge Open Access, a public-private partnership vehicle expected to oversee one of Nigeria's most ambitious fiber optic infrastructure projects. The initiative, championed by the Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, targets the deployment of 90,000 kilometers of fiber optic infrastructure across all 774 local government areas. The objective is to expand high-speed internet access and reduce the persistent digital divide between urban and rural communities. If successfully implemented, the project could strengthen connectivities for businesses, schools, healthcare facilities, government services, and households in underserved areas. Across Africa, a new $500,000 funding opportunity has opened for organizations developing and scaling artificial intelligence solutions for healthcare. The funding will support AI-enabled tools focused particularly on family planning and women's health, with priority given to programs operating in countries including Nigeria, Ethiopia, Kenya, and South Africa. The initiative reflects growing interest in using artificial intelligence to address healthcare challenges while expanding access to services across the continent. And finally, to the international stage. United States regulators are reviewing how Chinese artificial intelligence companies are gaining access to advanced NVIDIA chips through overseas cloud providers and international subsidiaries. The review is aimed at identifying potential loopholes in existing U.S. export restrictions and determining whether advanced AI computing technology is reaching Chinese firms indirectly. The development adds another layer to the growing technology competition between Washington and Beijing, particularly over artificial intelligence, semiconductor technology, and access to advanced computing infrastructure. And that's Tech World Updates, where innovation meets impact and the future stays in focus. Do stay with us as Karima Hassan is up next with Entertainment News Update. Thank you and bye for now. It's a busy day in entertainment.
a historic Nigerian student protest is coming to the big screen. Tupac Shakur murder case is finally going to trial, and a Nigerian British journalist is making waves with her look at the red carpet premiere of Odyssey. Welcome to your entertainment update. A major chapter in Nigeria's student history is getting a new life on screen. A new film, Ali Must Go, is revisiting the 1978 student uprising. The protest started after the federal military government increased charges affecting students, including feeding costs. Students across the country took to the streets, with the National Union of Nigerian Students, led by then President Segun Okeowo, at the center of the protest. Things soon turned violent, leading with clashes, security forces, university closures, and the eventual banning of the student union. Now, more than 4 decades later, Ali Must Go is bringing that story back to the screen and giving new generation a chance to learn about one of Nigeria's biggest student movements. And from Nigeria, we head to Las Vegas, where one of the hip-hop biggest mystery is finally being heard in court. Almost 30 years later, Tupac Shakur was killed. His murder case is going to trial. Dwayne Kefi D. Davis is facing trial over the 1996 killing of the hip-hop star. Tupac was shot while riding in a car with Death Row record boss Suge Knight after attending a Mike Tyson boxing match. He died 6 days later at just 25. For decades, the case remained unsolved and sparked countless theories about who was behind the killing. Davis was arrested in 2026 and he pleaded not guilty. Now, the trial could finally shed more light on what happened on the night Tupac lost his life. Now, from the courtroom to a red carpet, we turn to a fashion moment that is getting plenty of attention. Nigerian British journalist and fashion creator Zainab Jiwa is making waves after turning heads at the London premiere of The Odyssey. Jiwa stepped onto the red carpet in a dramatic gold hooded satin gown paired with an armor-inspired corset. The look was inspired by Harriet Chrysler with a corset from Arma Medusa, but the real highlight came when Jiwa crossed paths with actress Zendaya, who noticed the outfit and appeared impressed. The moment has since got people talking online, with fans praising Jiwa's bold red carpet look. From a historic Nigerian protest to a decade-old hip-hop mystery and a major Hollywood fashion moment, these are your entertainment updates for today. I am Karimat Hassan. Stay tuned for our next segment.
Welcome to a brand new week. We hope you had a refreshing weekend. Now, it's time to catch up on the biggest stories making waves in the world of sports. From a leadership storm shaking FIFA to heartbreak for Nigeria's Flying Eagles and a non-Nigerian writing history on the fencing strip. Here are your sports updates in details. We begin at the top of the world football, where FIFA is facing one of its biggest leadership storms in recent times. The day of football's most powerful confederations, UEFA, the Asian Football Confederation, and the CONCACAF have openly accused FIFA President Gianni Infantino of breaking trust through what they describe as deception. The disagreement centers on a proposal to sell part of the commercial rights to future FIFA World Cups to private investors. The confederations say they were not properly consulted before the plan was presented, calling it a serious breach of trust and demanding greater transparency. FIFA has defended its action, insisting the proposal was meant to explore new ways of growing the game. Although the plan has now been dropped, the dispute has raised fresh concerns about unity and leadership at the highest level of world football. From politics off the pitch to heartbreak on it, Nigeria's Flying Eagles have missed out on a place at the 2027 Under-20 African Cup of Nations after suffering a 4-1 defeat to Burkina Faso in the final of the WAFU Zone B Under-20 Championship in Côte d'Ivoire. Burkina Faso dominated the contest to lift the regional title and secure the tournament's only qualification ticket to next year's Continental Championship. The result also ends Nigeria's hope of reaching the 2027 FIFA Under-20 World Cup with qualification tied to the African Cup of Nations. It's a disappointing end for the Flying Eagles, who had battled their way to the final but were unable to stop a Burkina Faso side that proved too strong on the day. And finally, Nigeria has something new to celebrate after 16-year-old Ogene Geren Osiuva Somsi made history by becoming the country's first ever Commonwealth fencing champion. Competing in the men's under-23 event in Lagos, the teenager defeated India's Lokesh Vimani 15-5 in a commanding final. Representing Nigeria for the first time after switching from England, Esiovua Thompson went unbeaten throughout the tournament, delivering a landmark victory that has placed Nigerian fencing firmly on the map. His achievement is more than just a gold medal. It's a proof that Nigerian sporting excellence exceeds far beyond football. And that's your sports update for today. Coming up next is Pidgin News after the break.
Una welcome my country people. This one now normal Pidgin story on top S24 rundown. The number one today be say South African businesses with their investment worth about 20.43 trillion naira for Nigeria don't they face possible retaliation as pressure don't mount on top federal government say these people waiting for South Africa, where South African people continue to the queue. As reports bring on today say about 5 people this year don't die for South Africa. The Nigerian government said don't try their best rescue about 1,490 Nigerian people come off from South Africa. Adam Soshomole Konde reason and say people will get company for Nigeria when a South African company may they for use the money where they get they compensate Nigerians will die. Students self Konde reason and say they go do protest against companies like MTN. Another one can be said Northeastern University for Gombe don't introduce 50% founder scholarship for 6 science-related courses. The university pro-chancellor and founder will be Dr. Sani Jawo Dan Lawan of Gombe can announce the scholarship during the 2026 graduation ceremony of Penn Resource Academy. They say this scholarship will cover 6 courses like petroleum chemistry, environmental management, toxicology, industrial chemistry, microbiology, biotechnology, and urban and regional planning. Jawo said this scholarship now to prepare young Nigerians for new opportunities where we come from the oil and gas industry. In continue to explain, say oil exploration don't start to develop for Kalmani area of Gombe and Bauchi states, and this one will create more need for people who get special skills for this kind industry. He still had said the university they work to establish oil and gas competency development center where students and professionals go receive special training about the industry. And for Ogun State, government don't kidnap Ore Oluwa Osunuga, will be son-in-law to one journalist, will be the former managing director of the defunct Monitor newspaper, Ayo Akinyemi, for Ikene local government area of Ogun State. They say the kidnappers they demand 500 million naira ransom for his release. Osunuga na businessman where they run poultry farm. They can kidnap him on Sunday afternoon as in they live in farm settlement to go do normal business activities. Reports can show say in they go buy fuel. Some say they go deliver poultry products when the government stop in vehicle come carry and go. Now make we carry I go Obodo Yibo because he say at least 12 people don't die and 39 don't wound as Ukraine launched major drone attack on top one region for inside Russia. The attack happened on Monday and now one of the deadliest single attacks since the war between Russia and Ukraine starts for more than 4 years now be that. The affected area they more than 1,000 kilometers away from Ukraine and it still get important oil refineries. Ukraine don't previously target some of the oil facilities in the area as part of its attacks against Russia. And for inside India, an Air India captain don't face further drug testing after the plane where they fly suddenly lose about 300 feet in altitude during a journey from Phuket to New Delhi. Indian Aviation Authority say the first test for psychoactive substances give results where they describe as not negative. The incident happened on August 4 when the Air India flight suddenly dropped in altitude. After the plane landed for Delhi, authorities test both pilots. The captain's sample don't now go laboratory for another test to confirm the first results, which means say the first test no proof say the pilot used any banned substance or not. And to end down for China, more than 1 million people don't leave their homes for eastern China after powerful typhoon Dauphin hit Zhejiang province on Sunday. The storm brings heavy rain, strong winds and fear of flooding and landslides.
Authorities moved more than 900,000 people from Wenzhou in Zhejiang to safer places, and they even opened emergency shelters for them. Shanghai also recorded up to 400 millimeters of rain within 24 hours in some areas. Reports can show say Typhoon Dolphin is the strongest tropical cyclone wey don hit China this year. This storm wey they talk, it comes with winds of about 151 kilometers per hour, and it badly affects transportation well. My people, now God go help these people, and all these things where they happen, it don't do too much. Now where we don't live them today. Make una enjoy the week. My name na Sidika Yusuf.
Thank you, Sidikat, for that version of our news. And this brings us to the end of S24 News Rundown. Do join us next time, and remember to follow us on all our social media platforms at S24 Television for more updates and breaking stories. My name is Khadija Mohammed. Bye for now.